Calling Dr. Red Flag. Please report to the front desk. The doctor is ready to see you now.
Dr. Red Flag here with another message of how we learn and grow together and notice and pay attention to the red flags. Today's topic is the emotional vampire, when someone feeds off your energy. There are people who don't just enter a room, they shift it. The air feels heavier, your body tightens, your mind becomes alert, and before a word is even spoken, you feel it. This is why many describe as an emotional vampire, not in a supernatural sense, but in a psychological and emotional one. An emotional vampire is someone who consistently drains the emotional, mental, and sometimes even physical energy of others. They do not replenish, they take. From a psychological perspective, this behavior is often connected to several patterns. Emotional dysregulation, difficulty managing their own emotions, leading them to offload onto others, externalized coping, relying on others to process and carry their emotional weight, attention-seeking behavior, needing constant focus, validation, or engagement, victim mentality, consistently positioning themselves as the one wronged without accountability, boundary violations, disregarding limits, and expecting access to your time and energy. Some may only exhibit traits associated with narcissistic patterns where interactions revolve around their needs to be codependent dynamics, where they rely on others to stabilize them. But regardless of the label, the impact is the same. They move in a very specific way. They enter conversations and immediately shift the focus to themselves, no matter what you bring up. I've had the worst day. You think that's bad? Let me tell you what happened to me. They unload constantly, problem after problem, story after story, without resolution, without growth, without change. They often repeat the same issues, not because they want solutions, but because they want engagement. They may call or show up during your moments of peace, and once was calm. So this becomes consumed by their presence. After interacting with them, you feel it. You feel drained, mentally exhausted, emotionally depleted. Some people experience physical symptoms, headaches, tension in their body, fatigue. Your nervous system reacts. You may feel anxious when you see their name on your phone. You may tense up when they enter a space. You may even begin to avoid them without fully understanding why. This is not random. This is your body recognizing a pattern your mind is still trying to process. Emotional vampires often operate without awareness, but that simply just doesn't lessen the impact. They rely on others to regulate what they have not learned to regulate within themselves. So how do you recognize them? They dominate conversations and redirect focus to themselves. They consistently bring negativity without seeking solutions. They repeat the same problems without change. They expect immediate access to your time and emotional energy. They ignore or push past your boundaries. They leave you feeling worse after interactions. They rarely ask about you in a meaningful way. They create a sense of obligation rather than mutual connection. Another key indicator is how you feel before, during, and after being around them. You feel anxious beforehand, you feel tense during, you feel drained afterward. That pattern is not something to ignore, because over time, this type of interaction can lead to emotional burnout. You may begin to feel overwhelmed, detached, less available for the people and things that actually matter. This is why boundaries are essential. You limit access. You decide when and how you engage. You do not allow unlimited emotional dumping. You can listen without absorbing. You can care without carrying. And when necessary, not even connection is meant to be maintained. Not every person is meant to have full access to you. Sometimes the real red flag is not what they say, it is how you feel every time they leave. Signing out for now, Dr. Red Flag, with another message. Don't forget the message and notice and pay attention to the red flags.